Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Here are 5 skills to learn to become a mega lawyer. So you want to be a lawyer? How about not just being a lawyer, which I've seen plenty of lawyers, but being a all-powerful lawyer? 90% of Congress is actually made up of lawyers, right? They all went to law school, they practiced law, or they didn't practice law. Maybe they actually taught in law school. Obama went to law school, even taught at law school at one point. He went from virtually unknown outsider, not a politician, to technically the most powerful man on the planet. It's a shame that he wasn't that guy, but at least he made it to the seat of power. I want to give you 5 skills to learn to make you that guy and become a mega lawyer. That's the first step. What you do with that mega lawyer status is up to you afterwards. The Pinto Oil acquisition contract was written by a lawyer. He was paid 30% of that entire contract. Let's just say it's a ridiculous amount of money going to one human being versus the 2 companies that were represented thousands of people, including governments and therefore nations of people. All of that versus that one lawyer that got 30% of a tens of billions of dollar contract. That was enough to make me go to law school. But I didn't finish. Most of the stuff I learned in law school was about horrible people. As a lawyer, I'd probably never have to deal with those people. Criminal law, family law, but who knows? Strange things happen. Your senior partner walks in and says, Shakaama, our biggest client's son just got arrested. As you're looking to make partner, I'm dumping this entire criminal case in your lap. Don't mess up or you're fired. And you have to defend a scumbag, spoiled brat that killed someone out of sheer snobbery. Here we go. Number 5. Learn to be a magician. The development of learning magic doesn't just teach you tricks, but it teaches you how people think. It teaches you where people are looking and where they are expecting the trick to come from. Misdirection is a skill you should learn and learn it to perfection. At the end of the day, you'll be dealing with people. Learn every aspect of people you can. Number 4, learn how to con someone. Did you know to get into law school, you take a test called the LSAT? It has nothing to do with law school. It's just a scam to take your money for the test. And law school has nothing to do with being a lawyer. It's just a scam to take your money to go to law school. You could literally apprentice to a lawyer like they used to do with carpenters or butchers. If you learn how to con someone, it teaches you how people think. And the long con, in particular, is the real meat and potatoes you want to learn. The long con will teach you the nuts and bolts of life. A long con can actually take years. For example, it teaches you to pretend to be one person, have some sort of interaction with your target, and then the reveal, it's almost like a magic trick, is the con. Whether or not the person learns that it was you who did the con is not normally how you stay alive as a con man. I know a lot of Hollywood movies always reveals that the person, the target, realizes that they've been conned. Well, real life is nothing like Hollywood. In real life, the con man gets away. That's the whole point of being a con man versus being a burglar or a rogue or a highwayman, Number 3, be a teacher. Now, I don't mean be a real teacher. I mean, go into a classroom. You have to know how stupid people think and how smart people think. A classroom has all of that, all bunched together. Now, you'd think they separate smart kids from dumb kids, but no, they're idiots running the school. What do they know? They've never sat down and thought about it. There are millions of adults who can't read, have a 3rd-grade education, dropped out freshman year, all the way up to PhDs. So, who don't know what the meaning of manners is, right? You need to know what levers to pull for each one type of adult that you're dealing with. You're smarter than most Americans, but dumb Americans think a certain way. You have to figure that one out. They aren't just robots that have limited programming. For instance, some of them drop out of school for religious reasons. He's going to think totally different from a girl that got pregnant at the age of 12. They both are dropouts, but they both have very different approaches on life and how they think. Number two, learn to be a day trader on the stock market. And I wanted to repeat that over and over, but you get the idea. There are investors, and then there are investors. Long-term investors, the good ones, may research a company, learn its history, look at its financial statements, and actually go to the store and interview the employees and supervisors and managers of the store. Yes, folks, this is what good long-term investors do. You thought they threw darts at a map and picked out who to invest in. Well, it doesn't work like that. Well, those are long-term investors. There is a totally separate animal that takes those analytical skills to the next level. They are called day traders. Imagine that all they do is look at charts, but they don't just look at charts. They look at every possible chart, and they look at your chart, and they look at my chart, and they look at his chart, today's chart, tomorrow's chart, last year's chart, last century's chart, and they invest and are out faster than you can blink. And they have made more money than most people listening to me make in a year in 1 second. It's called technical analysis. It's being analytical on a super advanced scale. Yes, I've made 10,000 bucks in a few seconds before. You have to have cojones for it. When you're playing with real money, you stand to lose real money. Finally, number one, be a writer. Language is a tool of the lawyer. If he doesn't know how to write, he's lost. You need to write so well that you can make a grown man cry and laugh within 10 sentences. And you have to be able to read to a degree unheard of. Now, I presented this list in this way. You could go and look at a list and they'll say, oh, you should have analytical ability, attention to detail, logical reasoning, persuasiveness, sound judgment, and writing ability. But I think actually following these examples gives you a much clearer picture of the hows and wherefores to acquire these skills. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a like, and if you can, possibly donate at patreon.com/Shakaama. So if I'm going to give you something that's going to turn you into a multi-millionaire, you could at least give me $15 a month. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Happy birthday to anybody whose birthday it is.